Hi, and thanks for being here on this Tuesday. Calendar-wise, the 24th, and that means that after today, one full week of the and that's it, and it's on to February. Weather-wise, we've not been having to deal with too much January-ish weather, mind you, above average, but we've got another hit of winter coming. And in lieu of that fact, a cold front that's going to start to change things up midweek, which is tomorrow. Best chance of some snowfall Sunday night, I think. And in lieu of all that, and to give you some comparison, maybe some perspective, we'll take a look back at what we were doing a year ago today. Just happened to pull that out of the archives real quickly. Some arrests to pass along to you this evening. High school basketball scores. If you were to go up to catch the Hornets playing or hosting Shelby Valley tonight, don't be in a hurry. That game has been rescheduled, and there are a lot of other reschedulings that have taken place or we expect to take place, some in light of the fact that Paintsville, the Lady Tigers, are, of course, playing in the state All-A Classic this week. Their first round set for tomorrow. And if they advance, which we're kind of figuring that they may have a very good shot at, that will change up their schedule and hours for this Friday night. So a lot to get caught up on in basketball action in just a few moments, and all of those other headlines, but all of those and other headlines as well. So a quick word from a sponsor or two, just a quick reminder before we go for a short break that whenever you have the opportunity, let these and all of our wonderful sponsors, let them know that you're watching, and we'll be right back.
To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
A couple of arrests and courthouse happenings over the course of the weekend with citations and documents we've been able to obtain as of today. Just real quickly to pass along, one concerning a convicted felon found to be in possession of a handgun. A complaint received by the Kentucky State Police led them to a McGoffin County residence where this man was found to be in possession of what was or appeared to be a loaded handgun.
Trooper Ryan Hale of Post 9 says that he received a complaint about Carl Fletcher, a convicted felon, staying at an Arnett residence with access to a firearm, and that he, along with a McGoffin County Sheriff's deputy, made contact with Fletcher at said residence, and in doing so, they actually saw a small handgun from the doorway lying in the home, and they identified it as a .22 caliber revolver, North American Arms, which was loaded, they say, with several rounds, the handgun lying in plain view on a bed that connected to a living room, while the homeowner told police that Fletcher had been staying with him at the residence and that he was sleeping in the living room and thus had access to the handgun. No clarification as to if he owned the gun or just simply had it in his possession at that time or otherwise. But he was also noted to be a convicted felon for assault in the first degree, and stated that he knew he wasn't supposed to be around or in possession of firearms, and thus was lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center over the course of the weekend.
And we don't have any accompanying photographs or video to go along with it, but another uniform citation, this one filled out by Trooper Bond of the Kentucky State Police from Post 9, says that sometime around 12:24 this Sunday morning, he found a man behind the wheel, passed out behind the wheel, motor running, foot on the brake, in front of the Sagersville Speedway. He says that the car was running. He also said that the subject had an open or half-drank 40-ounce size Budweiser sitting in his lap. The trooper says that it took him 2 or 3 minutes of shaking the subject to get him awake, and when he finally did, this guy behind the wheel told the officer he needed to leave him alone and let everyone else go back to sleep, but the officer noted in his citation that he was the only one in the vehicle, that being the driver. Trooper Bond says that he asked him numerous times to step out of the vehicle and wake up because he was under arrest, and then he looked up at the officer, the driver did, gave him a stern profanity and said, "I don't have to listen to you." And at that time, he jumped out of the vehicle, charged the officer, and pushed him literally back into the street on Maple Street here in Sagersville. At that time, he deployed his taser where it made contact with the subject, and then he immediately became compliant. The officer noted in his citation that there was a strong odor of alcohol on the subject, along with glassy eyes and dilated pupils and slurred speech, all exhibiting signs of being under the influence. And given as such, there were no other field sobriety tests that were given at the time. The tags on the vehicle were also expired or canceled due to failure to maintain insurance, and he notes that the individual or driver did not have a valid driver's license as well. The individual charged was 20-year-old Brian K. Jordan of Ivington Road in Magoffin County. He faced 9 separate charges, including operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol under the age of 21, resisting arrest, several traffic infractions, no registration plates, no registration receipt, others, as well as possession of an open alcoholic beverage container, and menacing as well. He was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center and has since bonded out. The before-mentioned arrest that I just mentioned, Carl Fletcher, was still in the Big Sandy Jail as of airtime today. Magoffin County Deputy Court Clerk Larry Shepard saw his request for an appeal dismissed, but there was some happenings thereafter which had it reinstated. This just days away from him reporting to federal prison on Monday of next week. I'll share a few details with you in just a second. With Tammy Jo Reisner taken into custody immediately following their sentencing hearing, that left Rooster Reisner, Magistrate Gary Rooster Reisner, and Deputy Court Clerk Larry Shepard to be free or remain free on their bond agreement pending their surrendering themselves to the federal prison, which have not been designated, or if they have, at least we have not learned, or they have not been made public as of yet, but they are still scheduled to do so on this coming Monday the 30th, while paperwork indicated just today and yesterday that an appeal which had been filed on behalf of Larry Shepard had been dismissed.
It's just this morning I came across the first document that appeared as though the appeal that had been filed on behalf of Larry Shepard through his attorneys had been dismissed, and in fact, it had. The document clearly read that Shepard, having previously been advised that failure to satisfy certain specified obligations would result in dismissal of the case for want of prosecution, and it appearing that the appellant had failed to satisfy one of the obligations. In doing so, it was ordered by the Court of Appeals that his appeal be dismissed. However, upon my calling the Court of Appeals today to verify the information in front of me, they did say indeed it had been dismissed. However, that it wasn't completely unusual for such situations to see a case or an appeal dismissed due to some sort of a timeline that may have been missed, and that be reconsidered. And in fact, another document filed just this afternoon, just moments ago, says that upon consideration of the appellant's motion to reinstate his case, and it appearing that the default which led to the dismissal of the appeal has been cured, it has now been ordered that the appeal or his case has been reinstated and will continue on as it had. However, he will still, as will Reisner, report to the designated federal prison, once again, which we are uncertain of as of this time as the exact location, on Monday of next week. More headlines in a moment or two. Right now, it's going over to tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. This just in, saying that this is notification that North Magoffin Elementary Site-Based Council is having a special called session set for tomorrow. Meeting time is set for 4:30 in the school's conference room. This comes from Principal James Keith Isaac. Everyone is invited to attend. One last reminder that the Water into Wine Food Pantry is open tomorrow. It's Senior Day today there, and tomorrow it's the regular distribution day for the month. And if you are a senior citizen and, of course, couldn't make it today, of course, you're invited to come and join them tomorrow. They'll start at 8:30 in the morning, go to 3:30 as is customary, and as they usually often do, they'll break for lunch for an hour in the middle from 11:30 till 12:30. Don't forget about the Project Graduation fundraiser for the Magoffin County High School. They are making chocolate-covered strawberries by the dozen. I have white misspelled. Please ignore that. Maybe you wouldn't even caught it. But nevertheless, $25 a dozen for milk or white chocolate. And if you order them by February the 9th, you can pick them up on, of course, Valentine's Day. Call Becky Allen at the Magoffin County High School, 349-2011. I'll try to fix my typo tomorrow. And ladies, and gentlemen for that matter, because I've got a few Pampered Chef utensils and items in the kitchen at home. A Pampered Chef party has been put together at South Magoffin at the South Magoffin Fire Department. They're having a fundraiser, not this Sunday, but the following on the 5th. So mark it down. I'll remind you in the days to come. They're going to have a door prize. They're going to have refreshments served, and it's a great fundraiser, a great a great place to support, of course. And, of course, they, like all of our volunteers and nonprofits, they have a hard time getting every dollar that they so desperately earn and need. So you want to pick up something for yourself or something for a gift, that's a Pampered Chef Party at South McGoffin, Sunday the 5th at 3. Turning to funeral service announcements provided by friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. A reminder about services to be held tomorrow for Jack Wendell Prater, 70 of Sagersville, married to Gail Oney Prater, who survives. He's also survived as well by his sons Patrick and Jack Prater Jr. and his daughter Amy Fairchild. Visitation continues this evening and up until services start in his honor once again tomorrow at 1, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial will take place at the Prater Cemetery on Carpenter Ridge. And 77-year-old Leslie Jones, we are told, of East Maple Street, has passed away. He was married to Linda Castle Jones, who survives. He's also survived by son David Ham and daughters Rebecca Burke, Lisa Jones, and Juanita Preston. Family will receive friends 1 hour before services, and those services begin this Thursday. I'm sorry, but I have 1 o'clock on your screen. It's Thursday morning at 11, I am now confirming, all of which at the Sagersville Funeral Home, who is in charge of arrangements.
A quick update on some basketball scores and some scheduling changes, a few conflicts there. I don't know if that's a bad thing necessarily. For the Lady Tigers, it's certainly not a bad thing. They're leaving in the morning. Paintsville Independent School's getting out early tomorrow due to the Lady Tigers playing in the girls' All-A State basketball tournament in Frankfort. They'll take on Harlan County, 5 o'clock in round 1 tomorrow. I'll elaborate more on that in just a second as we run through the list of viewing area teams, which will start off with McGoffin County, and an announcement or reminder in case you already knew that they were to host Valley tonight, but that indeed too is going to be rescheduled.
Yeah, there was to be some home court action tonight for the Hornets, but that's just not going to happen. So here's your updated schedule just to let you know. So this past Thursday night, as I already told you, the Hornets took on Belfry. It was a 6-point win for the Hornets. They're now 13-7 for the boys. They are to host the boys from Paintsville this Friday night. So the boys aren't in action, scheduled to be in action until then. But it kind of just depends on if the Lady Tigers, of course, do well in the All-A Classic in the first round. That puts them on into Friday, and they're kind of expected or the favored to win. It was to be a boys and girls doubleheader hosting Paintsville this Friday night, but as to whether or not it's going to happen, well, it kind of all depends on Paintsville. I'll get to that in just a second. So as for the Lady Hornets right now and Coach Doug Green, their loss, of course, coming over the course of the weekend. Friday night, they were at Central. That was a district loss, 38-68. And then on Saturday, they took on Pike County Central, also a road game, and that was a loss 61-70. So the girls fall to 5-12. As of right now, they are scheduled to host Shelby Valley this Thursday at 6. I'll keep you posted. As for Johnson Central and Coach McKenzie and the boys, they were in action Friday night in the Hatfield-McCoy shootout, a win 71-64 over Mingo Central, and then they hosted Lawrence County last night at home. And, of course, that big district game for them, 97-64, your final score for Central and Lawrence County last night. That means Central has advanced to 15-6, 1-2 in the district. They are to host Belfry at home tomorrow night at 7:30 for the Golden Eagles. For the Lady Eagles of Central, they played Friday night. They hosted McGoffin County. We covered that already, a big win for the Lady Eagles. Saturday night, the Lady Eagles were in the Lady Hawk one-day showcase at Pike Central. That was a win for them, too, at 76-62. And with that, the girls are at 15-5. They are hosting Sheldon Clark this Friday at 6. Coach Sloan and his Tigers of Paintsville on Thursday night, they hosted Lawrence County. It was a loss, 81-88 in a district matchup. Nope, my apologies. Not a district game. Nevertheless, 0-4 in the district. And they are to be at Russell tonight, the boys of Paintsville, at 7:30. The Tigers right now at 6-11 on the season and 0-4 in the district. And for the Lady Tigers, yeah, they're hitting the road tomorrow. They're taking on Harlan tomorrow in the first round of the State All-A Classic after winning the 15th region title. This, of course, comes after a big win in the All-A. That was days ago. This past Friday night, they were on the road at Sheldon Clark with the win. 52-37. They hosted Morgan County Saturday over the weekend. That you're looking at 68-42. That all adds up to a 19-1 season. They're undefeated in 15th Region Girls Basketball at 13-0, 4-0 in the district. Once again, they take on Harlan tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and a win would send them against Crittenden County or Saire, the winner of which on Friday at 11:30. That's why everything's kind of up in the air, pardon the pun. Lawrence County and the Bulldogs hosting Belfry tonight, 7:30 after a loss over Central, as we've already covered, 97-64 in favor of Central. The Lady Bulldogs also a loss in their last game. That puts them at Phelps this Friday night. Tip-off set for 6 o'clock. They lost to Betsy Lane last night. That was a road game for the Lady Bulldogs. Once again, 61-69. 7-13 right now on the season. 1-2 in the district. And, of course, I even messed up now, realizing I think I said Lawrence County in the Central game a while ago wasn't a district game. Wow, I don't know, I'm not sure where that came from, so my apologies. Nevertheless, for Morgan County and the Cougars wrapping this one up, as I think I need to, a loss 73-45 against Elliott County. That puts the Cougars at 8-11. The boys are hosting Elliott County tonight at 7:30. And for the Lady Cougars, Saturday night they were on the road at Paintsville, a loss. They were on the road at East Carter last night, a loss. Tonight they're hoping to come out of a 3-game slump. That's actually Saturday night. They're on the road at South Floyd Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, hoping to end a 3-game losing streak. They're right now 5-12 on the season and 1-3 in the 62nd district. With that said, with only a few errors, I'll be right back with your weather forecast. One to watch. Oh, and let's take a look back a year ago today with me. I'll be right back. Under just a little graphic here to throw at you right now, and for a limited time at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe, check out our foot-long meal deal. $5 gets you a foot-long with homemade chili, potato wedges, and a 21-ounce drink, and you can, for just a little bit extra, throw a little coleslaw on the side if you like. But a $5 meal deal for a limited time, foot-long with chili, wedges, and a drink. $5 at your Sayersville Lee's. Now let's go back to your weather outlook. And before we get to your forecast, let's take a look back. This was January the 20th. This would have been Friday of last week, last year. Pretty good little snowfall starting to add up. It looks like I was taking a little trip down Burning Fork. And 2 days later on January the 22nd, which would have been Sunday just this past weekend, it had added up. One of the quickest falling snows that we had seen in years. It added up and pretty much wiped out roads for days on end. And this one stuck around for a while because we had some cold air in place, so we saw white ground even after roads cleared for days on end. And in fact, on this very day last year, this is what we were doing. Also a little trip to Burning Fork at the in-laws for a little fun in the snow. Several inches of the white stuff made for a good sleigh riding event that I think a lot of folks were taking advantage of. And once again, 1 year ago today. While we have 62 in your forecast for tomorrow, but that too is going to come to an end. 43 and holding right now at the 6:30 time frame. We're going to fall down to about 63 tonight and just some drizzle. That's it. We've seen the precipitation start to end early. We will see some fog thereafter tonight. Keep that in mind. Widespread dense fog, just to be very specific, mainly between 10 and 3. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, but clearing skies during the overnight will pave way for some partly sunny skies tomorrow. And yes, again, 62 degrees in your forecast for tomorrow, and we just saw wasn't the case last year. So while tomorrow will start off on your Wednesday relatively calm and somewhat sunny, a 30% chance of showers makes its way in around 3 o'clock or so and beyond in the afternoon. Winds out of the south-southwest are also going to start to bluster about 8 to 22, 25 mile per hour gusts at times. By your Wednesday night, the cold front coming starts to give us a better chance of some showers, mostly cloudy skies, and a low of around 35, I think, for tomorrow night. So showers will be of the wet variety and not white. Winds are still going to add up to, say, 24-mile-per-hour gusts throughout much of the evening. And then Thursday rolls around, and that's when the cold air comes in and stays for a while. A slight chance of some rain early, and then snow showers are possible in the afternoon. Temperatures struggling to get to the mid-30s. Winds out of the west, 9 to 23 miles per hour. On Thursday night, still a 30% chance of what will be snow showers if we see any, mainly right now between 9 o'clock and midnight Thursday night. Friday, a 40% chance of snow showers anytime after 10 or 11 that morning. Mostly cloudy skies and 35. That chance of snow increases Friday night to the tune of 40%. By Saturday, I'm thinking a chance of flurries and just kind of winding down, partly sunny, still in the mid-30s, upper 20s for nighttime lows, and a few flurries on your Saturday. And Sunday, another good chance. And right now, what looks to be your best chance of some real snow showers. Not the only chance, but best. I think mostly cloudy skies Sunday, and we'll see a 50 to 60% chance of some snow showers with temperatures hanging tough in the mid-30s and nighttime lows falling down to the low 20s. And I'm still trying to bounce around in my head. I think during the basketball scores I completely botched the Lawrence County matchups in some district games there. Still wanting to throw Lawrence County into the mix there, and I think I got them and Sheldon Clark twisted on a couple of occasions, which is a little bit understandable. So, nevertheless, you got the gist of the scores and your forecast, and that's about all I've got for tonight.
And that'll do it for tonight. Still a lot of programming and a lot of news left to cover this week. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night for our next edition. For now, thanks for watching and being a part of this one.